Y'all ready?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No.
All right, wake up, eensy weensies. We gotta get you out of here. Come on, I mean right now o'clock. Some suit is looking for you in the front room. Offered me a lot of money for some information, but you know, even a dough girl's got a conscience. You said you was into some big deal shenanigans, and I believe you, so you gotta move. Bad news though, they found your ride. Can't say as I blame them, shiny thing like that. I told them I bought it off you, and I'd be pretty fiery if they nabbed it, but there's still some of them creeps out there camping on it. I think I can send the rest off on a wild pixie chase, but we gotta get you out of here first. So here's what we're gonna do. I call it a bacon switch. You're gonna love this part, honey. Now get in the pie crust.
And sure enough, you see that Clara has baked, apparently off of just Jeb's description, a key lime pie large enough to feed a full-grown dragon, but with the unique addition of a lattice crust covering the top of it. She now peels this crust back and motions expectantly for you to hop into what is actually a hollow pie.
What you doing? Hopping in.
Jumping into the pie.
Out of the pie.
Out of the pieing pan into the pyre.
I would like you all to roll perception for what you can hear and understand through the pie.
Can I look through one of the little apple pie slits in the top?
No. Your nose is too far in front of your eyes. It would be so obvious.
Oh, snap.
11.
Alan got an 11 also.
Not natural 20.
Got a natural 5.
If you're saying that he can't look out because of his snout,
No, Fox.
are you saying if I
no
flatten my
shape-changer,
face?
Fox? No. Sit down, sit in the pie, and be thankful I'm giving you anything at all. Collectively, you guys did kind of average. You had one really high, one really low, and 2 right in the middle. So I'm going to give you the average perception, and we're going to continue with our story.
All right, now keep it shush in there. We're gonna have to move right past them on our way out the front. Once we're past, you're gonna have to find a creative way to get your wheels back. Be careful, this guy's got eyes everywhere. He's some kind of businessman, dresses like some real money. Been in Fladina ever since the peak fell, running his business from here.
As the pie you're concealed in is wheeled through the common area of Clara's Inn, you hear the impatient tapping of a cane on the stone ground near the bar. Jeb, from your days in the casino circuit, you are familiar with the difference between the sound of a practical wooden or stone cane and an ornamental one of mithril or adamantine. This one is an expensive mithril creation. Fox, your ears, acutely tuned to an entirely different set of information, detect that this cane is hollow and probably contains a weapon of some kind. A few seconds go by, and then you hear a voice, presumably belonging to the owner of the cane, addressing Clara.
Look, I understand you're busy, but I'm not trying to take you away from your work. Nice girl like you, I just want to talk. You see, I've been on a little business venture, and well, something went a little sideways at one of our expansions. In fact, something went a little sideways to the tune of nearly 100,000 wingle digits. That's a lot of money. But maybe if an honest girl helped an honest guy who was just down on his luck to find it, he might be willing to share some for her trouble.
You're speaking a pretty language, honey, but money that's hypothetical isn't gonna do it for me. It takes bread to make bread. That's what we say around here.
How about the money that's right here on the bar? You can keep the change. I just need to know about these 4 guys wandering around. Surely you remember them? Can't be that many non-draconic folk around here.
You're usually the only untalented one around here, that's for sure.
But that's what I'm saying. I just gotta ask him about this business with the bankers. You know I'd rather be here enjoying a nice pastry, but work does have to come before play, sometimes.
Well, because you look so tasty in a top hat, and because you tipped me 400 wingle digits. Maybe I saw them. Maybe they came in here, ordered some drinks, and asked after Kavor. I told them true, because they spin a good yarn, and the fluffy one gave me a nice shiny thing. Between me, you, and the floorboards, though, I don't think they was the brightest. I mean, they're called the Kavorite Mountains, for scorch's sake. You'd think they could put one claw and Dew Claw together.
It's sad, but it's true. We're not a particularly smart bunch overall. That's why I prefer the company of dragons like yourself to humans like myself. Well, like me, but dumber.
You are one of a kind, darling. Now, can you get some of those dumber 2 feet to leave my new treasure on wheels alone, If this gang's as slanted as you say they aren't gonna leave money somewhere that obvious anyway. They're gonna take it and use it as a tribute for Kavor.
I'm sorry, Dough Girl, but a man's gotta be thorough when his life's work hangs in the balance. I'll be fast. Don't suppose they left you the keys?
No dice. But it looks so pretty right there that it don't bother me none. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta get this delivered before the next pie burns, or the whole operation's gonna fall apart and then my life's work will be in the balance. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, of course. You let me know if you hear any more about these adventures, will ya? I've got a debt to collect.
Whatever you say, dear.
We'll be right back.
Sinir, Gontaeus, Kotix, Olara. Long ago, the four ancients created a world in harmony. Then, everything changed when the chat emped magic. Only Kelnor, master of good vibes, could stop them, but when the world needed him most, he vanished. 2 years have passed, and 4 adventurers have discovered a conspiracy, a company selling magic. And although their roleplay is great, they have a lot of XP to earn before they're ready to save anyone. But I believe they can save the world.
Let's meet our players for the night.
Hello. My name's Fox, played by the human Matt. And I'm a rogue changeling. And, you know, I think I can get used to being inside a pie. It's not too bad. You know, it's a little cozy. You know how it is.
Hey, I'm Wash. I play Jebediah Peppermint, the molefolk gun wizard, pew 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 bang bang bang. And I am 35% pie.
I am Jake, as the hat says. I play Alan Woodrear, an Azamar Barbarian Artificer, which I am now a Barbarian 5 Artificer too. I am excited because I'm pretty sure that was the guest voice of T-Sav, and that was awesome.
Hello, I am Trevor. I play Zothkog, the orc cleric of the group. And if you weigh 99 pounds and then eat 1 pound of pie, you will be 1% of pie.
And I'm Josh, your Wing Badger Game Master. Now, without further ado, and with a shout out to special guest Sir T-Sav, who jumped in for the first time in that opening segment, let's continue the night's adventure. The din of smooth jazz and the sound of a tapping cane die away behind you as Clara wheels you, as a pie, to safety. After a little while, she leans down and whispers,
Okay, hop out.
She peels back the pie crust and you hop out of the pie. You find yourselves in a grassy clearing somewhere near the border of Fladena and fairly far away from most of the civilized buildings. There's nobody in sight.
All right, good work, eensy weensies. Word to the wise, though. If you did cop some of that guy's hoard, don't try and get the Vanguard to help you out and get your truck back. We only have 3 laws around here, and hoard boosting is the very tippity top of that list. You're on your own now, kids, but thanks for a fun morning. It was a hoot. Gotta love the pastry life. You never know what you'll bake up next. Oh, and just a little something for the road. Don't tell me I never did nothing for you. Better than Mom used to make, huh, Fluffy?
She hands each of you a smaller, personal-sized key lime pie as you begin to feel the effects of not getting a full night's sleep steal over you. As each of you eat, you feel the effects of your short rest become the rejuvenation of a long rest as you consume one of the most delicious key lime pies you've ever eaten.
Nice.
And that brings us to right now. You stand, as I said, in a grassy clearing, fairly away from most of the civilized buildings in Fladena. Your cipher truck under siege from a number of cronies working for, perhaps, Sir Topham Sav himself. What will you be doing?
That's what I feared.
Did we see Sir Topham T-Sav besides the painting? Like, while we're...
You've only seen the painting of him.
All right, guys, hear me out. If I can get a good look at this guy, I might be able to pass off as him.
And yes, in order to get our cipher truck back, correct?
Correct.
I don't know.
I think that may be a more viable option than forcing it back. If he's able to sneak in and we are able to get out of sight, he could find a way to impersonate him, get the cipher truck, and just drive it to us out of sight.
Can we open the bottom hatch from the outside?
Sure, that's cool.
We could have Jeb dig under it, get inside, and then drive it away, or we could all just stow away inside of it until they leave. Just go into the extra.
I don't think they're gonna just leave.
This is true. I doubt that they would do that unless ordered by fake Sir Topham Sav, which could be Fox in this
So
case.
we could sneak into it, then Fox gets them to go away, and then we drive
a combination of the two plans, essentially?
Yes.
I believe that could work.
So, Josh,
Yeah?
How thorough is the cronies right now digging through being? Are they like digging? Are they actually like looking underneath?
I don't know. You're not even there. You're like a safe distance away, not near the. You can't.
Oh
even
yeah,
see from here.
that's a problem. We need to fix that.
I figured Jeb could just tunnel us in.
Oh, what is our ground clearance?
Underneath the truck or underneath the
Yes.
Cypher truck. I'm gonna roll a d4, and that's how many
feet?
I'll roll a d6, and that's how many feet.
Oh wow! Well,
Wait, there's a chance that it's lifted 6 feet.
It is in fact lifted 6 feet.
Let's
How?
go.
6
Why? Those are
feet of lift on
giant
this thing.
wheels.
26-inch rims.
Holy crap!
Jeez. Wait. So are the wheels 6-inch in diameter, or we?
There are 6 shins between the ground and the bottom of the Cypher truck, unless that's too ridiculous, and we'll have it to
That's a
3.
monster truck.
Does that mean
Josh.
that our wheels are so big that if it flipped upside down, it would still be on wheels?
All right, we're making it 3.
Okay.
3 feet.
So
I mean, still pretty lifted, but reasonable.
one Jeb.
Yes, 1 Jeb.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to say, guys, I'm just saying, we all know our Cypher truck, as we've just all remembered collectively, is 3 shins high off the ground. I think that might be a little too high to try to sneak in
If it's
underneath
nighttime, it's
without
not.
them noticing. Well, if they're actively searching it, I don't know if we have a lot of time.
This is true. I believe
They would
the
have already searched it.
espionage approach is likely the most the most reliable. We could just
Well, they can't get in.
let Fox do that and then have him drive it off to us.
I don't know if the person guarding it would believe that it's him telling him to leave his post.
He's literally heard his voice, and if he sees him, I personally do not see the problem with this plan.
Look, with this magical armor, right? And I just gonna shapeshift that into some flowy robes and be like, I can change whatever I'm wearing. And after listening to his voice, this would be a great time to show a talent, me personally as Matt, that I could actually copy voices.
Dude,
Let me
I'd love
tell
to see
you,
it.
real life Matt rolls a nat 1 on those. As you can see, I'm Sir Topham T-Sab.
Well, first, I think the first thing to get correct before you do this is that his name is Sir Topham Sav, not Sir Topham T-Sav. I don't know where you're getting that T from.
I just
So,
throwing it in,
What if we do a
It's like, you
distraction?
gotta know it's me.
What if we cause a distraction somewhere, lure them off, and then the rest of us could hop in and meet back up somewhere. Is that a plan?
See, now that sounds like a great idea, sir.
That's kind of creepy. Are you just practicing right now?
Yeah, sorry, I was kind of just, I kind of get into it.
Explosions usually do well.
Explosions could do well. I could send off a fireball somewhere. That might damage our reputation with the dragons here. So possibly, I mean, that's the thing. We could.
Zolf, that was pretty fast.
We could send off.
Came up with that idea very
my
fast.
teeny little super guy.
That's what worked at the mining facility.
I could send off my teeny little super guy. We could make him a bell or something that makes noise or whatever, and send him running off. Maybe he would distract. I could.
One
could
thing
do
that
my-
just occurred to me is that we may not get Brad back.
Where's Brad?
Because, Brad, was given to he's the collateral that we gave to the guards at the border.
Maybe we should sort that out first.
Well, if we're being if we're being searched by Sir Topham Sav, I highly doubt that the guards will side with us rather than him.
I have to agree. Can you make a new one?
I didn't say we had to ask.
Leave no one behind. We have to get Brad.
I'll clarify a couple things first. If we ask, I believe that there is a level of danger that asking will result in our kidnapping, like in our arrest. That is one thing. Two, as the creator of Brad, I do care about Brad. However, Brad is just an emerald wrapped in steel at the end of the day, and we have extremely important business to attend to regarding Mekar, and I would like to deal with that as quickly as possible. So we may have to leave Brad behind.
But wait, man, does Brad have a soul?
I'm
Brad
with Jeb.
Brad quite literally does not have a soul.
Jeb.
Brad's soul is just what I tell him to do, and he has no other thoughts outside of it.
Can you make a new Brad?
That is the mechanics of it. If given a gem of enough worth, yes, I could.
I think we could do that.
Leave no Brad behind.
I
right.
appreciate the sentiment. I just don't think strategically getting Brad will be very beneficial.
Listen, I don't understand how you say, like, this thing has talked and communicated with us, okay? And you're telling me it has no soul?
I'm gonna add a die to the tension pool.
That don't sit right with me.
Brad has never really talked and communicated with you besides just flying around.
Brad hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
But flying around is how he communicates.
Just in case you guys missed it during the totally non-existent technical issues that didn't happen, it does appear that chat granted Fox a boon recently. So that's a thing you've got sitting around.
So it sounds like we're split 2-2. We need a tiebreaker.
I believe the best strategy is to leave Brad behind and have Fox do the impersonation tactic. I do believe that is our best bet.
Okay, that's a pretty good plan. Mild counterpoint is if Fox's encounter goes bad, it's gonna go real bad. Like if it goes good, it's extreme. If it goes good, it's gonna go real good. If it goes bad, it's gonna go real bad.
I do.
And that's never stopped me from doing a plan before. I'm just pointing that out.
I do understand that. I believe that we should, the rest of the party, we should attempt to be in the distance, able to watch what's going on and attack at a moment's notice if the impersonation fails.
DM, how far away is the cipher truck?
It's a couple hours walk. I mean, Clara pushed you, safely to the middle of nowhere so no one could see you, but that unfortunately also means that you're in the middle of nowhere where no one can see you. So you would be walking basically back into Fladena. You are inside the patrols, like last time, one of the patrols of the border saw you and like seized your little homunculus guy, but you're still further out than like where some of the buildings and stuff are.
Okay.
What's tough about this situation is that the cipher truck is very strategically valuable to our mobility and generally like our resources.
It has everything we need.
Yes.
We're not leaving the Cybertruck behind. You may try to convince me leaving Brad behind, but we're not leaving the Cybertruck behind.
I believe that's completely fair.
Oh, I agree, Fox, man. I agree.
I say we begin the walk back and then...
Wait. What if I can ask for Brad as Sir Topham Sav?
Ask the guard whether they have any collateral with them and then use it as quote unquote evidence.
I could be like claiming it for not only for evidence, but also for reclaiming part of my
like what's owed to you
money. Yeah,
I believe that's perfectly fair. I think that's a good split down the middle.
We could try, I guess.
Brad could be the key to the cipher truck. So I get Brad. I come back. I say, guys, I can open it, but then I'm like, guys, I'm gonna need you to clear out. Because
it could
there's
be
some
trapped.
Stuff that's confidential that you small time guys aren't allowed to know about.
I don't know if they'd go for that.
Or he could say it could be a trap, something along those lines. I am perfectly okay with this idea. I believe that we should continue to workshop it perhaps on our walk back, but I think we should begin that journey now.
I still think we should tunnel.
I don't think the tunnel is strategically.
Jed, there's 3 shins. We're not getting under that. This key lime pie is really good, by the way.
Oh yeah,
the best.
I mean,
we're not getting under that.
It doesn't matter if it was flat to the ground. If I tunneled up into the doorway, it would just go straight into the doorway. Oh, you're talking about you guys. No, I could get in there just fine.
I say let's begin the walk. Let's go.
Yes.
Okay. I peel the crust of the pie off and I eat a little bit of it while we're walking.
So we need to find Sir Topham Sav.
Yes.
Because I need to know what he's wearing.
He has a cane.
Yes, we do know that.
I got that bit.
So you'll need to get a cane too.
I might be able to pull something
because I'm sure his cane is pretty distinct.
That is a good point.
Your journey back is uneventful in the sense that you are not challenged by anything in particular. There are no random encounters that occur. You are in basically like homes, like residential territory here at the outside of Fladena. So you're walking past basically 3-mile to 6-mile plots of land that, have a den in the middle of it that belongs to a dragon. Some of them have like expensive trophies and such on display outside to kind of, give other dragons an excuse to ask questions about your journeys. But for the most part, like it's a pretty simple walk. Nobody is really out at this point in the morning. Everyone who's going out hunting has left already, and everybody who's nocturnal is asleep. So you're fairly easily walking back to the tavern, Clara's Inn. And sure enough, before long, you see the giant pitchfork in the ground that indicates, like, oh, you can eat food here. There's a fork in front of it. You are far enough away that you cannot see any details of what's happening there, and nobody who's there can see you. If you want to get closer, you'll need to use stealth checks, and I'll need them per person.
I believe that this might be where it might be convenient for Fox to separate from the rest of us. We all stay back and out of sight, hopefully.
Fox, will you approach stealthily, or will you approach, like, already in disguise? You're going to have to use your words, man. We got a podcast.
Sorry, this key lime pie is really good. I'm gonna go not disguised
So you're going stealthy?
and sneak.
Okay. You can use your boon to have advantage on it.
I might need that for the
All right,
disguise.
I'm going to put a 2-minute timer up. That's how long you have to spend your boon.
Oh, I have to spend it within a time limit.
Yeah, because I'm giving you power over
Okay.
the boon. Normally, I just do them right away, but it was in the middle of like just you talking, so it didn't seem...
That's fair. Okay, well, I got a 19 on the die.
Okay.
So I got a 28 on the first
Nice.
roll. So I don't think I
You
need
got
a
a
boon.
28. You would have to decide before your roll, but that's fine. You got a 28. There are 2 cronies who are currently left at the cipher truck, and they seem very focused on their work. So as you get closer, you're actually able to kind of weave your way into the tall, thick grasses of the landing pad outside Clara's Inn, because she, obviously is displaying fancy hoard items and stuff, but so the grass is overgrown to be nice and soft for dragons to land in. So you kind of are, laying down on your belly and you kind of crawl in amongst the grasses. And so you get pretty darn close.
Okay.
And as you get closer to the truck, you're actually able to hear some of the cronies' conversation. They're both kind of walking around. They're looking very closely at the doors. They're inspecting the truck, trying to figure out the best approach. And you can hear them talking. You really think we're going to find 100,000 Wingles in here? Don't know, man. But if the boss says to look, we got to look. You bring your picks? I did. We'll try those first. These ciphers and knock are as expensive as all get out, and I don't want to waste them if I don't need to. Plus, I don't fancy the idea of a big old ka-dung noise ringing around. People are going to look over and wonder what's going on.
I'm going to go ahead and attempt to throw my voice in such a way where it sounds like message in their head and be like, they're on the edge of town. I'm going to copy T-Sav's voice. They're on the edge of town. You see, we got to get everybody up here who can see them and head over. And I'm going to give a general direction of that's opposite of where we
Towards the
just came from.
mountains. There are mountains to the south of you, so that's fine.
I'm going to go ahead and use my boon.
Oh, okay, yeah. You can use your boon to not roll it with disadvantage, because throwing your voice to sound like it's in their heads is pretty impressive. So it's just going to be a performance check or deception. You can choose which, because this kind of feels like your actor skill. So maybe it's performance, but either of those you may roll, and the DC is significant. Like this is tough to do, just so you know what's going on.
Okay, I'm going to roll deception because I have better points in that.
Yeah, you are.
First roll's respectable.
You don't have to roll disadvantage because you used your boon.
Oh, that's
So-
right.
so you
Okay,
just
then
take
yeah.
the first roll.
Then the first roll, which was a respectable 16 plus 10 deception.
Plus 10?
Yes.
This guy.
Yeah.
26. I made sure a couple of the things that I'm going to be doing, I do them good.
Expert actor.
Expert actor indeed, chat. Okay, so you throw your voice and you call out to them, and they look at each other, and one of them goes, "That's weird. I didn't think he had any ciphers left for the day." Well, I mean, if the boss is calling us, we got to go, right? Yeah, but we didn't get in yet. What if we get there and he's all upset about it? Like, he wants the money too. And, he's got other cronies. They're kind of trying to decide what to do. Finally, they decide to split up. One of them goes and one of them remains. So it's the guy with his picks who's now crouching down at the back door, and his companion leaves him with the cipher of knock. And so you see them like hand off the cipher. So he also has the cipher of knock. But he's sitting down at the back door now, crouched kind of on his heels, and he's going to work with his picks. I'm going to roll sleight of hand for him, and whatever you're going to do is going to happen, I guess. But he's still working. He doesn't seem to have quite cracked it yet, but you do hear the telltale click of the first pin in the lock going.
Do I hear a cane inside of the inn or have
No,
any
you don't.
clue of where Sir Topham? All right.
A little bit of time's gone by, so I'm going to send Fox a message and be like, "Hey, pup, what's the stat? What's the sitch?"
I can't find Sir Topham's Sir Topham Sav, but I was able to distract one of the cronies, but one of them stayed behind, and I don't know how to get rid of him. He's got knock
as the guy is sitting down trying to pick the lock on the back of the truck, you continue to overhear him. He's now talking to himself, almost like he's verbally processing. So a lot of what you hear is just, okay, no, if I rake it this way and put tension that way. But every now and then you hear a snatch of something else. And in fact, one of the things you hear is he says to himself, I wonder why he's so intent on bringing this group in. Like, he really seems like dead set on this. A little bit more time goes by and he goes, yeah, I mean, well, to be fair, I mean, he really risked his neck with the Wingle Digits thing. Like, he really needs this to work. Everybody knows the Summit Banking Guild was facing bankruptcy before the Darkening. By all accounts, he was too visionary then, and now he's all mercenary, like, you know, kind of focusing on what he's doing here. And
so when I was listening, all right, I'm going to go ahead and really don't want to do this. I'm going to pretend I'm going to shapeshift my clothes and myself using my magic armor and my changeling abilities to look like the friend who just departed about maybe a couple minutes ago.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to sneak around to where he walked off, the direction he walked off towards, and then come running up from that direction. Hey man, he said everybody, man, and he wasn't messing around. We gotta go.
Look, we just talked about this, man. Like, I'm trying to get into. I'm almost into the truck. Look, I just got the first pin.
He just talked to me. And he was asking where you are, man. I just told him you were tying your shoes or something. I had to give you an excuse.
Well, if you tell him to just pace himself a little bit, I could have his money out of this stupid truck.
I don't think he cares about the money right now.
Roll persuasion. DC to beat is his insight of 18.
Only 18?
Only 18. They're just
can't beat
cronies.
my 29.
Yeah, they're just cronies. He goes, all right, whatever, man. And he pulls his picks out of the back lock of the truck, looks down towards it, and goes, whatever. And he stands up and follows you off. You are now leading him away.
All right. I am running away, and I'm going to hit like a fork in the road, and I'm going to be like, all right, man, he said it's somewhere in this general direction. He has us all splitting up. I'm going to head over this way. You head that way, okay? They think they're somewhere out in the fields over here.
Another persuasion with disadvantage. This is a weird command for TSAF to give to a bunch of cronies when he's already found the bad guys. 21.
I'm hoping for that I'm hoping for that failure of education. Total of 18.
Which doesn't beat a 21.
Oof.
Only an 18, Fox. Only an 18.
Only an 18.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel there, Fox.
He stops to look at you and he goes, what are you talking about, man? This doesn't make any sense.
I don't have time for this. And I just start running off.
He looks at you kind of confused and goes, I'm going back to do my work. And he turns around and starts walking back towards the truck.
All right.
I don't know what's gotten into him. He's doing weird stuff. He walks back towards the truck. You are fairly confident, Fox, that you've got probably 3 rounds, or not 3 rounds, but like 3
attempts,
chunks, 3 die in the tension pool before he gets back to the cipher truck.
All right. I'm actually gonna see if I can't sneak up on him.
Oh, you're gonna try and loop around and get him
and pickpocket his tools.
His lockpick.
Grubbug already put the 4th die in the tension pool, so I just put the 5th as you sneak up on him.
Okay.
He's walking in the middle of the road. How are you going to sneak up on him?
I'm going to go ahead and run up to him and kind of give him a rough arm on the back. Like, come on, man, where you going? I'm going to kind of run into him. And in that moment, I'm going to try to take his tools.
All right. Roll your sleight of hand. I guess. You're running dangerously close to me, clearing the tension pool here. In fact, I think I might for this one. Jeb has his hand up.
I would like to do something when I get an opportunity to interject.
Okay.
18.
18.
Only.
To your sleight of hand. Only an 18. All right. I'm going to clear the tension pool. You are able to successfully grab his lockpicks as you bump into him. But as you bump into him, he's like, what the heck, man? And he shoves you to the ground. Make a strength save to keep your feet.
Gotcha. Okay.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa, whoa.
See, this dice knows me, okay? It's like, I know when you need the high rolls. Because my strength is not my strong suit, right?
Right.
Non-nat 20.
He got a 24.
What?
He got a 24.
Dang.
He shoves you to the ground. What the heck is this, man? What do you think you're doing? You taking my tools now? Go buy your own picks. And he reaches down and tries to grab the picks back out.
I'm
of
gonna
your hand.
immediately
You gonna
like
resist?
I'm gonna resist and be like in a demonic voice. You
don't know what you're messing with.
and like shapeshift the face to be a little bit more demonic. You know, like deeper sunken eyes and the cheekbones more pronounced.
It's going Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah, I'm Bilbo Baggins in him.
Roll intimidation with disadvantage since you just got knocked on your butt and then tried to intimidate him.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah,
He got an 18.
that was my lowest roll on the die.
Oh,
But I don't have a lot of marks in intimidation, so it's only a 22.
that's still enough. You don't know who you're messing with, and he leaps back and goes, "What the heck happened to you, Jimmy?
The Sacrium's getting to me, man.
You were back into supply? The boss told you to stay out of the supply. He needs that for his reserve."
The sun's burning me. I gotta get out of here. And I'm just gonna run as fast as I can into the distance.
Okay. He kind of watches you stunned just a little bit. You're like, I don't know. I better tell the boss about this. And he turns around and walks off.
Okay.
You've bought yourself a little bit of time at the cipher truck. I'm going to add a die back into the tension pool.
I'm gonna go ahead back. I'm gonna loop all the way around back, shapeshift back into a nondescript human, not my fox form, and make my way back up to the boys.
Some random human walks up to you.
We're Alan is acting casual.
Hello. Wait, what
I'm leaning
what does that
mean
mean?
for a guy
Leaning
who
against the
wears
side
no
of a
clothes.
building, my head tipped or hat tipped down, just low profile.
Who are you?
Are you 3 of the 4 guys, Ventures and Vibes?
Move along, sir.
Depends who's asking.
Why, it's not only but, and I shapeshift my face, me, Fox. Gotcha.
Are we able to get to the
Wait,
cipher truck?
how do we know they don't employ changelings?
Okay.
We literally do not have the time to ask that. I believe it's time to get to the cipher
Listen,
truck.
1, he's right. 2, I grabbed the guy's tools off of him. All right, so he can't get in right now. And 3, we might have just enough time to get to the cipher truck. 4, I could not find Sir Topham, so I can't really disguise as him.
If you're the real Fox, when's
That's
my
totally
birthday?
fine. Let's keep asking that as we go to the cipher truck.
Did we ever celebrate your birthday, Sal?
How could you ask such a thing?
Alan is walking towards the cipher truck.
We're
with
following
Alan.
Alan, yeah.
Zoth is going. He's convinced it's Fox now.
You make it to the cipher truck. There are, dragons are smattered about eating food, but nobody seems to be paying you too much attention.
Okay.
Just acting casual once again and stepping in and
Yeah, happy birthday. All right, I'm gonna, after everybody piles in, I'm gonna step in, shapeshift back into nondescript human number 4, and change into like common clothes and step back out. And I'm gonna walk into the inn.
All right.
I'm going to get in the driver's
walk
seat and be ready to leave.
I'm gonna.
The inn is bustling with activity, but you do not see Clara. She appears to be out making another morning delivery. Instead, you just see a number of her other, serving staff who are walking around keeping the various dragons fed.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and walk up to the bar and write down on a note. Thank you for what you've provided and the deal we have struck on the cipher truck. We're going to go ahead. We don't see you present, and we're going to go ahead and take it. Yours kindly, F from
In the chat.
yeah. 4GAV. And I'm going to put that down so that way we're not stealing the cipher truck. I'm pretty sure Clara would definitely. We already. So it's all legal,
All right.
And I'm going to go ahead and after I leave the note, make sure one of the servers is aware of it, and then go on and head on out.
The server shrugs like, whatever, dude. It's not my word. I just work here. You head back out to the truck. Hop on in. Jeb's in the driver's seat. You're rolling out.
All right, boys.
roll out as casually as possible.
We need to
once
find
again.
like the back way out of here. All right, I think we can't go through any checkpoints. Which way do we check, Jeb?
Yeah, we need to go north and west, I think, is the way that we came in. But Jeb has been sitting up in the front seat of the cipher truck, and he has a couple of, like, one of his shells kind of like pulled apart, and he's kind of like mixing some stuff, and he's been kind of muttering some words under his breath, and he's just like, and I'd like to cast a spell in a creative way, Dungeon Master, if you will allow for this. I'm going to cast Phantom Steed. Ooh. It's a new spell that I picked up.
That's a great spell.
It's a great spell, but here's the creative thing. I get to summon a large, quasi-real, horse-like creature. Could I make it a spectral rote?
I definitely feel like this is like the pivotal moment in the Ocean's 11 movie where we don't know if part of the plan's going to work. Like, first of all, we totally had a plan, right, guys? And
oh, yeah.
Yes, you may use it in place of a deep rote. However, its strength score is lower than that of a deep rote based on the riding steed that the spell gives you. So your pull speed is going to be lower. Yo, thank you for the Wingle Digits chat. We appreciate you.
Let's go.
So your haul speed is going to be slower.
Also, Wash gets a boon.
Ooh, Wash does have a boon.
Ooh.
Let's go.
Could I use that boon to beef up my rote?
Casually.
To what?
To beef up the towing capacity of my rote?
Only this time, but not in the, it's established as part of the spell, we can do it every time.
Oh, man.
Quick, write it down so that way when he forgets, he said that.
Self-propulsion moves you at 120 miles a day, so your riding steed without boons will move at 60 miles a day.
Okay.
Pulling the cart. And if you want to use your boon on it, you can get 90 miles for one day.
I'll go ahead and use the boon. Well, I think Jeb's gonna accidentally miscast it a different a specific way.
In a cool way.
Okay.
Yeah. So that something's off about it, and it's a little bigger than normal this time. But yeah, this big, huge, deep rote just materializes up out of the ground.
As part of your boon, your duration has also increased from 1 hour to the actually useful duration of a day.
Oh, nice.
Again, not established as the way the spell always works.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, for right now, that's fine. You can do that.
All right, I'm going to sit up next to you, Jeb, in case anybody stops us.
I'm going to lay on the floor so not to be seen through the windows.
Alan is also laying on the floor. They're laying on the floor together.
It's like we're at a sleepover.
This is a bit more nerve-wracking than a sleepover, but I understand what you mean.
All right, Jeb.
It's about the same if you're worried about your parents catching you.
If anybody comes up, you hide under the steering wheel, and I'll take your place. Okay.
Yeah. Wait. Okay, we need some clarification, DM, with our cipher truck, because I feel like the form of this thing morphs from session to session. And is it like a stagecoach where you have to sit out front of it to ride, to drive it, or do you drive it from within?
Oh.
So I too have wondered about this detail. I will let you decide here what becomes canonically permanent, because I think that it makes more sense for it to be something that you sit outside of, but I think it's way funnier if you have a driver's side window that you can roll down and yell out of.
Well, so here's the thing too, is like we specifically designed it to do underwater breathing, which is not really going to work too well if it has to be steered from the outside. So what if our compromise is that it has a seat on the outside, but our self-propulsion system has to work from the inside. So if we're going to use propulsion, you have to do it from the inside. But if you're going to use an animal, somebody has to be on the outside.
I'm sold.
Makes sense.
Okay, cool. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, "Yeah, Zande," and I'm going to shake the reins and then hand them to Fox and say, "See you later, pup." And I'm going to dive in back.
All right, I'm going to shapeshift.
Fox.
One more to the sleepover.
I'm going to shapeshift into...
Oh, man, it is kind of like a sleepover.
That guy that I pretended to be a vampire.
Okay.
And just casually be driving it out of town.
All right. You roll out of town. You do not encounter anybody. One dragon patrol flies overhead, but it does not include Cinder, the dragon who met you at the border yesterday. And so you are able to make it out of Fladena.
Wow, that was lucky.
It's almost as if the dice rolled in your favor, or I'm not telling you something. You've now entered overland travel. There are a lot of ways to try and make overland travel interesting in D&D chat, but the one that I've opted with today is that you are 7 days. I've already done this measurement. You are 7 days under self-propulsion from your destination. Since you're having this invisible beast pull you, one of those days, I guess you're getting half as far as you wanted. So you've got like 8 days basically of journey. I will add a tension pool to the die for every day, and I will clear it on the 6th day and find out if anything happens to you. And other than that, this is a chance for you to interact, plan, figure out what's going to happen in the future, and I might roll one random encounter. And that's what we're going to do. But I'm going to let this be player-driven moments here. So you can figure out what comes next, have your conversations with each other, whatever you'd like to do as you journey. And also, I guess you got to figure out your resource management because you only have enough Wingle digits for 6 days of self-driving.
All right, guys. I think we're in the clear.
All right, nice. We're probably not going to be able to go too deep. Well, like the potency of Zonde right now, I think I messed something up, so he's probably going to last a little while. So I say we drive through the day and through the night. It's going to last a whole day. He's kind of temporary, so let's get as much usage out of this as possible, and then after that, we'll just use him during the day.
Take shifts driving. All right.
Well, I'll probably
what's
have
our
to
plan
drive most, but
for Mekar? Like he has a whole town guard around him. So like, what's the plan with that?
Yes, that was going to be my next question is confronting Mekar. What do we think is the best strategy for that? Do we because the town also is not necessarily eagerly awaiting our return from the last that we were there with
I feel like
the wanted stuff and all.
You should talk to him one-on-one and privately and see if you can get more of the scoop on like why he did it or what's going on because he trusts you. I don't think he'd be willing to divulge anything out in the open or with his guards around.
Zoth, do you have that spell prepared where you can talk with the dead?
No, but I can prepare it tomorrow.
What if we talk to the Jester King guy?
Ooh. There was something up fishy with that, in my opinion, man.
I felt like there was some pre-existing relationship. Maybe we could get some information out of that before, kind of swing by there on the way to the city.
I believe that could be helpful.
I'm interested.
So here's the thing, Owlin. Like, I know you and this guy are super close, and when it comes to relationships that run deep, like I know people can change, but I feel like it'd probably be best to give them every opportunity, like every benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? Like
with the evidence that we have access to now, it is difficult for me to give him benefit of the doubt. But if the first confrontation will be him and I in private, I think I will give him a chance to explain his side. But
do you want to me or somebody be on standby? Because what if that goes south? Like, what if he has changed?
That is what I'm interested in. Is okay if it's up to me to be the first line of let's talk to this person and see what they're up to. I'm not sure. Does that mean I enter town alone? Because we don't want to draw attention to ourselves here because obviously we are wanted criminals.
They were willing to defend us.
Some of them. I understand what you mean.
Maybe
perhaps if we trickle in, like if I come in one night and then another person like later that night, like if it's not that we arrive all at once and perhaps we attempt to safely hide the cipher truck somewhere outside of town.
Definitely outside of town.
Then I think that could be a way for all of us to get into the city, for me to confront Mekar, and for everyone else to somehow be at the ready. I'm probably with the message spell, I assume, as a way of communication. But I don't know. Does anyone have any other ideas?
I mean, I could try to get close to you and be ready on that front, but I mean, getting into town is, like you said, it's going to be a hassle. I definitely think we should have maybe half of us stay behind I mean, or at least somebody's got to keep an eye on the cipher truck. How many times
I could stay behind.
have we left a cipher truck behind and like somebody's ended up rifling through stuff or trying
That
to?
has been happening a lot recently, yes.
So
I could stay behind. I'm not a fan of him.
That is fair. However, perhaps not being a fan of him will be a benefit in this case. But
I just want to remind everyone to bop him.
bopping him will take place, no matter how unlikely I feel it is that he is enslaved.
you know, I'm just gonna put this out here, right? If the Aboleth is caught on to bopping, right, or the people who work for him willingly, they could be pretending that the bop works, right? Like if Mekar, worst case scenario, right, is not under the Aboleth's influence and did what he did of his own volition, but is aware that he's working for an Aboleth, I mean, like, he could just fake, you know, like, oh, you've rescued me from the influence, and then we start talking to him, and he starts writing everything down. You get what I'm saying?
That's why we have you, Fox, to detect these deceptions.
That's a fair point. I believe that as long as the bop attempt is essentially disguised, I think that chance goes down. I tried something.
There's also the hand squeeze.
Exactly. I tried something with a hand squeeze with the band member that we used to transport Garlel, and that seemed to work. In that it was more disguised.
All right. Then I think that's probably going to be our best bet.
So
do we need to?
We're going to say that at this point we've ended your first 24 hours where the horse was riding. Do you want to spend 100 wiggle digits to keep self-propelling?
Oh no! So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep casting Phantom Steed every hour. It's a ritual.
Just every hour.
So as long as I get a 10-minute start before it wears off, like I'm essentially going to have to drive and like maintain it and whatnot. But yeah, that way I can just kind of keep that up. It'll be slower.
So with your 10-minute cast time, basically every day you lose a couple hours. So we'll just go from like 6 to, let's call it, I'll roll a d4. Trevor, roll a d4. That's how many extra days it takes you.
Oh, that's not a d4. That's a d10.
Don't roll that for how many extra days it takes.
I got 4.
D4, got a 6.
Now it takes you 10 days, which is fine. It just means there are going to be 2 clears of the tension pool. You may now continue your conversation. I won't even bring up days anymore. I'll just clear it really quick to see if anything happens.
All right, guys. So I think we have the plan set in place of getting information first, and then having Alwyn, talk with him first. I want you to have this. I think it'd probably be best for you to have it now. And we'll probably just go person to person, whoever needs it situational. And I hand Alwyn the earring of message. It's got a little brass cloud on it.
Nice.
That way we can talk to you through me, and you can talk to us if you need to. And just like give it, so I don't have to keep checking in. You can just signal us if if things start to go south. I think it'd also be a good. I
think that's going to be very helpful.
I think it'd be a good idea for us to like flip open our packs and like assess our equipment, see what's at our disposal. I know Fox has that crazy band. Did I ever give you that Mobius thing back?
Not yet.
Oh,
I think you were still looking at it at the time.
Yeah, I flipped through my bag and I it's right here. Yeah, I got it. And and I hand it back to him.
So I can like turn invisible and stuff with this, right?
So like I spent some time with it and kind of checked out all the things. So you got your parchment with you. You ready to like write down what you're able to do with it?
Yeah. Let me just pull this out. All right.
So
let's go.
As a quick a quick flip of it. First of all, let's see here. Yeah. So like with a quick action, you can send your body out of phase with this world. So like it'll just zoom. You remember how when we were trying to like phase out my eyes with Sacrium the other day? Because it was like super fun. It's kind of like this, but it's your whole body. Lasts about a minute, and makes you a little sneakier because you're like not there. The next thing you can do is you can fold space, which is, and I like go through the intricacies of like speaking dimensionally, like, and yeah. So when you fold space
Can we
with
use it to get there sooner?
well, so kind of, not really. It's not really going to help us travel much. It's a good distance. It works about within a 60-foot range. But what you can do is you can compress that space and almost like imagine like reaching your hand through and just grabbing something that's 60 feet away from you. But like it acts as though, yeah. So it's kind of like if you were to squish things together and make like a doorway, and then you could walk through that. You could interact with it, and then but it's really quick, and then it like springs back.
Okay.
Can we drive through it?
Let's see. No. Treat the space as if it was 5 feet within 5 feet of you until your next turn. So it's really quick.
The cart's gonna fit.
It allows you to, it looks like
the effects only apply to the person.
Yeah, it applies to the person.
It requires attunement.
So yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to work.
We'll attune it to the car. Put it on the
let's just tune up the car real quick.
Rear.
And Owlin, actually, I'll mention this to you. I noticed when I was looking at this thing. Did we talk about this the other day? That it looks like it's a piece of something bigger.
Yes, we did. We talked about how it's quite likely that it's a part of a larger project, perhaps with larger capabilities. However, it seemed fairly likely that the rest of it was probably hidden at the tower, and it wasn't the best idea to go back to the tower at the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
But you never know. We may find more pieces out in the world, perhaps. It was taken out into the real world.
Wait, are you saying everything inside the tower was imaginary?
I mean more in the sense of tested in the field rather than tested in a lab.
It was the tower like some sort of dimension?
No, the tower was...
tower's a metaphor, man.
It's a metaphor now? We walked into a metaphor?
No, I simply meant that there was a lot of research happening in the tower.
I'm just busting you.
A laboratory setting.
I'm just busted with you.
It's tough for me to I'm sure. It's hard for me to. You used the word busting for joking, and it's throwing me off a little bit. Sorry, I'm not. It's hard for me to joke. Right, it's difficult for me to joke at the moment with what we're about to do.
Fair enough.
All right,
sorry.
so back to our inventory. We gave some magic items back to the headquarters, right? Yes. I can't remember. Do we still have the iron bands, like the one where we throw it and it catches somebody?
No.
We kept the dimensional shackles. Okay.
Yeah. Yes,
okay.
This is correct.
I've got this lodestone here. This one's kind of like a gem-ish sort of thing. And it amplifies gravity. Are you familiar with gravity, Zothkug?
Keeps us down.
Yeah, it's like what's responsible for making things fall. You remember?
Right.
You remember when we fell 2 miles straight down? That was gravity. That was gravity at its finest.
Yes,
maybe we should have turned it off at that point.
Yeah, this would have been helpful at that point too.
Falling 3 miles down, hell of a trip.
5 miles is a long way.
I have already attuned to this.
Yeah, I cannot believe that we fell 17 miles. That was crazy.
Yeah, imagine if it was less than 20 miles. That would have been a lot nicer, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
I've already attuned to this thing, but like I want it because it's fine. But I'm willing to give it to anybody if they need to use it. But anyway, it lets you fly, and it can push people away. Like you can almost turn gravity sideways and just shove somebody really, really far away. Or you could just flip gravity upside down, and then everybody falls up.
Okay.
But if you're falling, wouldn't that be down?
No, because gravity is reversed, and you fall in the direction of gravity.
Exactly. So whichever way gravity goes is the down.
Technically, up and down are relative as to what body of mass you are. The gravity is attracting you.
I think
now, in this case, because this is magically affecting gravity, you could argue that it's not a body of mass affecting gravity. So up and down may still remain relative to the body of mass we are standing on, which is Urada. But that is debated in some circles. You may have to look at, if there was a book on this subject, for example, there may be like an appendix where a note like that, or a footnote perhaps, when referring to gravitational problems such as these, there would be some sort of footnote that would explain like what that scholar who wrote that book would consider
I
up
can
and
see
down.
it now. This podcast episode titled "The One Where the Guys Turn into Every Subreddit."
Well, see, man, you can only ever fall down. So whichever way you're falling, that's
I agree
down.
with
Well,
No.
see, okay, now here's a grammatical way of looking at it. If you can only fall down, then why would you say fall down? Why wouldn't you just say fall? Otherwise, you're saying fall.
And
You don't fall up.
in
No
a
one says
larger,
that.
more illustrative context,
I
would say
literally
that
just
our
said you
group-
could fall up if you reverse
Our
gravity.
group has largely fallen up metaphorically over the course of time, and we should be thankful for that. And therefore, I believe it is possible to fall up.
Well, and if I use
How do
this,
you
we can
fall
fall
up?
up literally too. So there's that.
Whoa. Zoth.
Well-
Falling up is a thing. I'm still confused about bodies of mass you're talking about. I mean, like, Urada is below us, all right? And the air is above
mean-
us.
Yeah.
So that's up and that's down.
Yeah.
Yep. And that is what is relative to us at this moment because we live here.
Well, and I would say that, Howland's city used to be in the sky, which is part of Urada, and it was not down, it was up.
But when you were on it, it was down.
It
Well,
was
I-
beneath
Hence,
you.
hence why it's relative. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So when you turn gravity off, your relative point shifts, so you fall
What do y'all...
down.
No, stop. All right,
Relative
listen,
to yourself.
you're hurting my brain. All right, let me just...
This shifts some wrinkles onto your brain. You'll take care of it.
Listen,
There is a lot of interesting writing on this that I would encourage. I mean, it is sad that we didn't grab any books on it while we were in the library.
I mean, I may have. I grabbed a bunch of stuff.
I know a couple of
well.
things, all right? Like, I know how to, like, calculate trajectories and stuff, all right? But you're talking about
Really?
Hey, that's a
relativity.
big word for you.
And so, okay, listen,
I'm proud of you. Oh, that wasn't a diss.
I'm just saying, I gotta know how to shoot a bow and arrow, all right?
That makes sense. Yes.
But you're all over here talking about changing perspectives on up and down and all. Listen,
I mean, you
anything
should be a
below
master of that,
me
changing your
is down.
perspective.
All right, everything below me is down. Everything above me is up. That's why, if you're up in the tower, it'd be below you. All right.
Are you high? Are you high right now?
I'm just trying to understand what y'all are talking about, because you guys keep talking about up and down as if though this is a debate. I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page. So
Okay, do you want me to do it? Do you want me to reverse gravity
Yeah.
so that you can actually see what's going on?
Not necessarily
Yeah.
at this moment. It's not necessarily necessary. I believe
I could
that
do
we're
it.
mostly arguing semantics at this point.
Are there
What's
any
most
trees nearby?
important Is how that applies to what we will be doing once we reach Clantrukta.
Are there trees nearby, DM?
Sure. Yep. There are some trees along
I
the
mean,
road.
okay, so there are some trees right here. You can grab onto the branches if you want, because if you don't, and I activate this thing, it's going to shoot you 100 feet in the air.
Can't we just activate it here and then we'll just
I
stick
feel
to
like
the roof?
there's a chance that what if I don't grab it in time, or what if it rips me from the tree? I feel like 100 feet in the air is a little scary of a height to be dropping from by accident.
Chat's increasing the tension on you. I think Chat is trying to make a statement about this conversation.
I mean, I could just do it on Fox, and then if you die, Zoth could bring you back.
I whether or not we have the ability to revive people, I do not think we should start to discredit the life that we have.
Don't we? It's for science.
How about we say that you could fall up, and we'll move on.
As a big supporter of science, I don't believe that Fox's life, especially, is worth satisfying for this argument.
And I
over
never
semantics.
disagreed with falling up. I even told Zoth that falling up's a thing. All right, it's a purple gem thingamajig that does gravity. Got it.
Okay, here we go. And I
Yes.
climb up to the top of the cipher truck.
How can it help our situation in Clan Tructa?
I climb up to the top of the cipher truck and I'm standing on top of it.
Yeah.
All right. You see that piece of field over there?
Yes.
Yeah.
If we're lucky, there's going to be a bunch of rabbits that just like fly up in the air. And I'm going to cast reversed gravity through the amethyst lodestone.
Chat, roll a 100-sided die. I'm rolling a 100-sided die, and it needs to be higher than yours for there to be rabbits.
Will there be rabbits this season?
I got a 79.
Wabbits.
61. My 79 is higher than that. I can't remember which end that was. I think that means no bunnies.
All right.
Yes.
Aw.
Considering what you
Right?
said before,
Yeah.
nobody's.
So it says,
Does the grass
Yep.
get rooted
well,
out?
it says all creatures and objects that aren't somehow anchored to the ground fall upward.
Okay, some pebbles and stones
Fall
and stuff.
upward and reach the top of the area where you cast the spell. So like stones and like just like sticks and stuff, just like they just like all lift up 100 feet in the air, and then once they hit the top, they kind of ping pong. They hit the top of the effect, and then gravity is back normal, and so they fall back down, and then they fall back up, and then they fall back down, and then they fall back up, and then I twist it and turn the spell off, and they all fall to the ground.
Weird flex, but okay.
See,
So it fell up.
they, yeah, from our perspective. But if we were the
Okay,
rocks, we
no,
would
we're
be falling
not.
down.
Stop. I am making us lunch, and that is the end of that conversation.
We weren't debating lunch.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything else that you need to actually talk about regarding Clan Tructa, or should I skip us to the town?
Wait, were you going to speak with the dead guy?
Oh yes, we're
Yes.
stopping.
I don't know,
We're,
are
we're
you?
stopping
What's the
at
plan?
We're making
that
a pit
little
stop
fortress. Yeah.
at the graveyard.
We
Okay.
get 5 questions. What do we want to ask him?
We've time skipped to the graveyard. You're there.
Can I have learned a spell in this time period, like from my scrolls?
Yeah, that's fine.
We have 5 questions. You guys know what you want to ask.
I'm just really curious on what his whole story was, but at the same time, I don't think he's going to react very kindly if I ask those questions.
It only lasts 10 minutes. also.
Zothkug seemed to be the most empathetic to his plight, so I
That is
believe
true.
Zothkug is the best to ask the questions. I believe that the questions, there should be a question of why he believed he was the rightful king. Ask him what he knows of the rod. Ask him what he knows of Mekar.
Maybe ask him why, ask him if he would think Mekar has a reason to kill him.
Yes, that's great. That's 4 questions. What's a good 5th question?
Where'd you get the rod? Well, no, we already know that. He stole it.
Asking him, we've already asked him what he knows of the rod.
Yeah.
What's his favorite cereal?
That isn't quite pertaining. That would be an interesting fact to learn about him, but that isn't quite pertaining to what
Could we ask him like who is Mekar?
You could learn a lot.
That was the other thing, was asking what he knows of Mekar.
Okay.
That is
Okay.
yes.
It's important to note that he does not have to answer truthfully and will answer however he sees fit.
He seemed quite interested in telling his side of a story.
The last one could be,
I'm just letting you know.
we could leave it an open-ended question. Be like,
Is there anything you want us to know?
is there anything
Perhaps is the last question?
you want the world to know? Because if it's just us,
Okay.
he might be inclined to hide that information. But if it's about leaving a legacy
What if we
behind,
tell him
he might be more inclined.
What if we're telling him we want to write a documentary or a biography or something?
I believe it's better if we tell him, "Hey, we realize that what we did was bad, and that we we're now trying to make it right." I think that will be more compelling.
All right. So let's go over the questions one more time, just clearly and concisely.
What he knows. Ask him what he knows of the rod. What he knows of Mekar.
Knows of the rod, knows of Mekar.
Why he believes he's the rightful king.
Why he believes he's the right
Why
king.
would Mekar have wanted to kill him?
Yes.
And what if there's anything he wants the world to know?
Okay. I got it. So we go back to the body, dig it up. The first thing, DM, does it have a mouth?
Yes.
Okay. Then I will.
It was kicked off of a tower, but it landed, I guess, with its face up. So yes, mouth and
Okay. Because I can't cast the spell if it doesn't. I will cast Speak with the Dead on him.
You sit down and set some incense on fire and begin murmuring some words, doing some motions, and in the smoke of the incense as it wafts up in front of you, you begin to see a sort of like a dim mirror of who the Thief King was, this pompous jester, take form in front of you. What is it now? Have you come to beg an audience with the king?
Yes.
And what do you want of me? Peasants always want something.
We just want to basically hear your side of everything. We're sorry for the conflict. We've done some wrong.
Oh yes, now that you've seen me thrown from the top of a tower, now they're very sorry.
Yes. That's not what we intended to happen.
It's what we got to give.
Could you tell us why Mekar might have wanted to kill you?
Could I? Of course I could, but why would I? You were helping him.
We have some new information has come to light, and we just want to hear your side of things.
Well, I was being pursued because I stole the rod.
What do you know of the rod?
That it is befitting of a king, and that sitting in that dusty hole of artifacts is disgusting for it. It belongs in the manner of a king, and I'll have you know that I am more kingly than anyone in Clan Royal.
What why do you think you are the king? What did a god speak to you?
I'm not the king, I just should have been. I know how to carry myself like royalty.
Is there anything you want to tell us? Information that is important? That you deem important?
No, I don't feel particularly inclined to tell secrets to the people who helped kill me.
I mean, this is your last chance. I mean, no one will ever know. Is there not anything you want to leave legacy-wise behind?
Roll persuasion.
Ba-ba-ba-da-bow. My persuasion score is really good, and I rolled a 15 on the die. That's a 25.
My legacy speaks for itself, I'll have you know. I've traveled and performed all over Udril. But if there were something I'd leave behind, it would be instructions for those abysmal artifacticians in the Hall of Artifacts at Clan Trukta, because they have no idea the quality of the books that they have in that dusty old Hall of Artifacts. One of them, I'm quite convinced, is one of the finest books ever made, and they've got it locked in a single glass case. It's not even protected from the liquid in the air.
I mean...
And as he, sneers, his, little smoky form begins to slowly, fade away.
Well, that was slightly less helpful than I imagined. I had hoped that he had some sort of secret information that would help us.
Maybe there's something about this book.
That was the book that Garlo tossed, probably.
Of course.
The lore cycles through your minds as you remember it's called the Book of Exalted Deeds.
Whoa.
The memory flits back to you.
That does make sense.
Guys, did you just have that thing happen to you where your memories just flash through your head?
That's Kelnor, man.
Did you guys just hear a harp?
Kelnor is trying to speak to us.
That does make sense, though. So our goal, we do know then for a fact that the Book of Exalted Deeds is in Clan Trukta. However, it does seem likely that the rod is in Clan Royal. However, we still need to confront Mekar, I believe, in the process of taking the book. However, I guess there is a possibility that we could steal the book without
confronting Mekar.
I feel like we're constantly adding to our negative reputation. Just constantly adding to that.
That is fair. Well, there's a risk and reward here. This is what I think. If we are able to somehow sneak the book out without confronting Mekar, and if we're able to do it where no one is the wiser, we have not yet made an enemy out of Mekar, and Mekar doesn't know that we're on to him in that case. However, if there's a chance that Mekar is being compelled by the aboleth and is not under his own will, then confronting him would be the better idea because we can simply snap him out of it and then have him give us the book willingly.
You think he's going to give that up?
That's on you.
Even if he was on our side, figuratively, just about not wanting to kill us. I mean, what makes you... I mean, didn't they have
that would be a private conversation.
A big thing about protecting these artifacts?
This is true. I did not think about that.
What if Fox changed into a different form and got a job in the Hall of Artifacts.
That's going to take some time. I'm just saying.
I mean, I'd give him a good recommendation. He's been a valuable employee. And
I'm a good reference.
I meant like they're not going to give the newbie access to the book.
I'd miss you. We'd have to find a new rogue, someone who can pick locks and stuff.
Whoa! I figure if I'm
That's why. That's what he is doing.
You can't get
back
rid of
home.
me that easily, okay? Listen
you
here.
wanted another job. We're not getting rid of you.
No, I'm not wanting the other job. It was suggested as a plan of action as a part of this job in order to acquire the book.
We're not going for the rod.
Well,
I thought we were getting both.
well, the rod isn't here. That's a duplicate of the rod. That's a replica, correct?
Well,
might be
but we
something
know
rod
that he
is-
took the rod, though. The replica is of the one that's in the
Oh yes,
the kingdom.
I had them confused.
Clan
yeah,
Royal.
but
I
Mekar
forgot.
is the last known possessor of the rod with the dragon head.
I
Wait
see.
a minute.
Well, in that case, I believe that we should then.
Skip both.
So
Skip both. We should confront Mekar then. In that case, if we have no idea where the rod is,
That's on you.
I know.
Is that what's happening next? Are you guys going to
I
confront
believe
him?
so. I believe something more similar to the original plan of we try to get into the town unsuspectingly, and then I will try to get to.
Do you guys want me to wait with the cipher
I
truck?
might give him a chance to bail.
If
or
we feel that
prepare.
is the most useful way, I believe that that's not a good long-term solution to always just leave one of us back at the cipher truck.
We could have send someone to us.
If
Alan.
that's doable, that would be helpful. Yes?
Do you think it'd be useful to send Mekar a letter explaining the situation and trying to make contact that way first, for his eyes only?
I feel like
Well-
it'd be better in person.
Hear me out. We could write a letter saying that you just want to meet up with him, that we happen to be going through.
I agree that giving him a forewarning of what this confrontation is about,
that's
especially if
Yeah, never mind.
whether he willingly, whether he under his own volition took the rod or whether he was compelled by the aboleth, no matter what, letting him know beforehand only gives him time to plan, and I don't think that that's good. I think it may be best to essentially corner him. Get into the
So this has a lot of moving parts. So Owlin, I'm gonna need your brains. Fox, I'm gonna need your will this work on a shenanigans level. And Zoth, I'm gonna need a shoulder rub while I explain this, please.
I give him a shoulder.
All right.
Great.
Okay. Ooh, yeah, that's good. All right. So we send a message to Mekar. All right. That says, we know you have, that says, we found out that you had it and we didn't feel right about at least not telling you, but we took the rod. I can cast a spell that'll let me detect the location of an object that I'm familiar with. If we cast this on something that is either on him that we can plant on him, or maybe like on the letter itself, like if you include a memento,
or
then if he goes to check where the rod is because we said we stole it, we can track him and meet him there.
Are you familiar?
Pick it apart.
On first glance, it may seem that you're not familiar with this item because you did not think about its connection to him when the opportunity arose. But do you remember the toy soldier candy dispenser?
I do, yeah.
That he had on him and demonstrated
Fox.
the first time. Are you familiar enough with that?
You ate one of the candies.
Do we have any candy left over?
That was just like the ones. Was it? But it was old.
You ate old candy?
Oh, you guys weren't in there.
Well, if you're familiar enough with the candy, then perhaps you could track the candy on his person.
Yes. Well, I don't need it. I just
Can it go off of
I
a
need to
mental
be
image?
familiar with the object, and then what it'll do is this new spell is one of the ones I picked up in your tower, Owlin. it detects that object
I got that
within
one
the
too.
vicinity. It's like a 1,000-foot diameter
But
radius. Sorry,
Diameter
one of
or
those
radius?
two. Within 1,000 feet.
I believe that's a happy medium, I would say, between the plans. And yes, it does help that he'd just simply guide us to where we need to go.
What do you think, Fox? Is that significantly shenanigan free, or like do you have it? Are there any like gotchas that you can think of?
so for that plan to work, right? We have to make sure it's something he will 100% have on his person, especially when going somewhere where he's probably secretive, right?
As at my entire childhood, at least, he had that toy that he had created himself and candy on him.
As a child.
Now, as a child, however, I believe it speaks volumes that he still had that on him
Yeah.
when we met again, and it wasn't as if he was expecting to meet me, his childhood friend, again.
That's fair.
Randomly.
I think it's solid.
In that case, we don't need to. Well, okay, so we write the letter. It has to be worded right.
No, it doesn't, and I'm going to tell you why. Here's another thing. If we can, if I can get my hands on some lead, whether it's in mineral form or whatever, I can write an illusory letter that looks like it says one thing, and then if a person that I tune the spell to reads it, they will read an encoded message that common person can't see in it. So this could almost verify that the message is coming from, like if it's signed by Owlin, and it's like it would come through as for your eyes only, almost in a tone of, we discovered that you had this. I know what you did, and I'm really disappointed, but I didn't feel good about you just finding out, randomly. And that we wanted to do you right by this. We could kind of frame it like that. If we could send the letter, then that way when it hits him, he gets the message and nobody will be able to intercept it. It'll be only his eyes that will be able to see the translation.
Okay. Shenanigans level, I think out of 100, I'm going to give this like
We've had worse.
a 15 shenanigans, right? If you're confident about the toy soldier constantly being on him, which sounds like it's a guarantee, well, that's a lot less shenanigans. And yes, illusory script means nobody's going to intercept it, which means we know he will act on it and no one else, which is less shenanigans. I'm feeling pretty confident. There's not a lot of shenanigans on this one.
I also feel as though this is the most concrete plan that we've had so far, and I think it has legs.
Yeah.
I think the next step then is, does anyone here have access to lead in either in mineral form or writing utensil form?
Well, as long as we can get it lead, I picked up another spell, and I can fabricate anything out of raw materials. So if I could get my hands on some lead, I need lead ink, so I could turn it into ink very easily. And that would be easier to just get a chunk of
I
lead.
think there's some at the market.
Okay, yeah. So like maybe we could.
I could go in ahead of time.
I was
Yeah.
going to say it may be safer for only one of us to go into the market.
I could pretend to be a human.
Well, you could change your clothes and yourself and just be a guard or like a commoner even. Probably less suspicious if you're not a guard.
Yeah, no, I was just going to go as some random,
Yeah.
nobody.
Human form
I was
too.
thinking 3, I'm feeling like
And then we
changing
could just
it up
like
a little bit.
we could park on the outside of town. Find a nice concealed area.
If you really want to change it up, you could go 7.
7's a little too much. All right. 7's a little too much. Yes, we'll park outside of the town. We've really got to hide the cart this time, guys. I cannot stress.
We'll be with
I'm
it
working
this
on
time.
something to like safeguard the cart because it's been such a problem, but I'm not quite there yet. So we're still going to have to do that manually for the time being.
All right.
I feel like next time we have the availability to get upgrades, we should get an invisibility cipher.
Something along those lines would be helpful. Yes.
We'd be chewing through wingle digits, that's for sure.
Hopefully the
true.
business is up and running by
That's
that
also
point, though.
true.
What do you think, Zoth? Is this a good spot to park here?
I think so. We just got to put some shrubbery around it and all that.
So just for my own clarification, are you parking like at the castle where the Thief King was buried because you buried him just outside it, or are you going kind of like into the woods a bit? Like, it's all rolling hills, so maybe you go 2 or 3 hills, between.
I was thinking
halfway
like
between there
2/3
and
Yeah.
Trukta.
to 3/4 of the way there, and like pretty close to the town.
Cool.
In the
And
woods.
kind of like make that our
Okay.
forward operating base.
Cool. So pretty close, but just out of
Yeah.
sight.
And then we'll pull it into
Great.
some like thick shrubbery, and then I'll put some plants around it so it's not shiny.
Okay.
And do my best to just camouflage it.
And then
Yep.
you guys are putting your plan
Yes,
into
I
action.
believe
We're
first
getting-
it will be Fox getting the lead, and then from there it will be the message and then the tracking.
All right, Fox, you are definitely able to find the lead. I want you to roll me and roll a charisma check to determine how expensive it is. So the higher you roll, the better you're
And what
able
am
to
I rolling?
haggle.
Just straight charisma? That would be a not nat 20.
You're able to get a pretty good price on it. It only costs you 22 wingle digits to get, however, like exactly the amount of lead ink
Okay.
that you need.
Well, I will.
So whatever Jeb
I will
needs,
leave it
Jeb has.
to Fox
and-
whether he thinks I should get more.
All right. I definitely think we should have like enough to do like ink comes
It
in
costs
like
me-
little ink wells, right?
It cost me 10 wingle digits worth of ink to cast the spell. So if you
Okay.
buy a piece of lead that's worth 30 wingle digits, I'll have 3 amounts to cast off of that.
I think 30 is a good, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that works. So you spend 30 wingle digits and you obtain 3 materialsness. Zothkug has a same.
Just when convenient, I would like the sending. Yeah.
Okay. Let's come back
Yep.
to that as soon as we're done this exchange. So is there any other prep work before you actually write the letter that needs to get done?
I'm going to just, while I'm in town, is there a general vibe going on? And also, how are those wanted posters looking?
The town seems fine. You do see another wanted poster for Four Guys Ventures and Vibes. It's just posted on the notice board. It's not like they're everywhere. It's like they have a notice board where a couple things are posted. You don't see the Tumbleweb sheriff, Alex Greenvale, who was accusing you before. You don't see her. You're not sure if that means she's gone or if she's just blending or what that means, but you don't see her. And otherwise, like, the town seems to be like of generally good morale. It's not like anything bad has happened. Weather's good. There are no festivals or anything special, but just, people are going about their daily lives.
Well, all right. I'm going to go ahead and just going to take a look at that poster, see if I can tell how long it's been on that notice board.
It's been on since right after you left. You're pretty sure.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just take it down like I'm looking at it
Okay.
and then walk away with it.
Okay. You are unchallenged,
Then I'll-
but I am adding a die to the tension pool for it.
Okay. Fair enough. I'll head back to the cipher truck.
Okay. Let's do Zoth's sending, and then we'll come back to figure out what message you've written. So Zoth, you send a message to Yadamak.
Yes. The message is, hey, yeah, we need a bodyguard for the cipher truck. Please prepare someone. Send message when ready. We'll give location.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, because I don't know if the internet is still running, but I lost power. So here's the situation we're in, okay? I have 89% battery on my phone.
Oh no!
And 89 is a pretty good number. 89, it's all right. 89% battery on my phone. No way to charge it. And I have 2 gigabytes until I get throttled on my data plan. So we're going to do the very best we can. So let's get right back into our adventure here, because we're doing some Ocean's 11 level junk right now, where you guys are enacting a plan, and the next stage of that plan is for Ya to reply to Zothkug. So Ya sends a message back that basically is to the tune of, I would be happy to procure a bodyguard for you. However, I will need to send them from Gaim, as we do not have an office in Udril. And in order to make this work, you will probably have to wait several days for them to arrive. That's the message. But yeah, he's basically working on it. We'll send the bodyguard as soon as he can. It's in progress. Now let's jump back over to the message that Jeb is writing. So Jeb, tell us about the message you're writing.
Okay, so I'm actually going to let Owlin write this. I'm going to cast Fabricate on the lead and convert it into ink. I've got like vials and bottles and stuff. So yeah, Owlin. So here I'm going to get some parchment together and a nice quill and set up a little spot. I've already enchanted the ink. Once you finish writing the message, once you sign your name on the bottom, the enchantment goes into place. What you're going to write is what is actually going to be like who you address it to. They'll be able to see it. What you write is what is going to actually be on here. But then once the spell is done and after you sign your name, then you'll get to speak words onto the paper, and that's what everybody else is going to see. So take your time writing it out. Just address it to Mekar, and then once you sign it, speak a message across the paper, and it'll convert into that. So maybe make it like a guard report, or I don't know, something official sounding, so that he has to open it up. But yeah, you get to hear.
Okay. So the first thing Alan writes will be the secret thing, just to confirm.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay. So Alan will begin writing to...
I'm just going to watch over Alan's shoulder.
Yeah.
Interesting.
To Mekar Pedrin. I did not want to believe it when we found out. However, now there is no mistaking it, and we've done what we knew we must do. I am severely disappointed, and I can only pray that you were compelled or enslaved to do it. However, I know that may be wishful thinking. I have taken the rod in order to use it for what is right, and to hopefully redeem the actions that you took against our people and the people of Urida, and set things right. I wanted you to know that it was me, so that you may know that the things you set in motion will be fixed. Signed, Alan Woodrear. And then the other message is just like, I think he'll phrase it as like a scouting report, like a patrol report. Yeah, it'll just be a patrolling report of the surrounding area, like your kind of a routine thing. But maybe he'll put in something of like hey, we like marked as urgent, essentially, like, yeah. Anyway, so that he'll read it right away. But there we go.
So how is this being delivered, Jeb? Is it arcane, or do you literally do you have to have a courier take the letter to him? Like, what's that?
Yeah,
procedure?
you got to it's a courier. Like it doesn't automatically send or anything. It is now an enchanted message on a piece of paper. The spell is essentially, it turns the message into a for your eyes only.
Okay, so there are couriers, but you would have to go into the bazaar to find them. Like there are, Scale and Sons has a table in the bazaar, so you can send a message into the city just as easily as you could send a message away from the city.
Okay, well then maybe having Fox go back in and drop that off might be good.
You're up, Fox.
All right, yeah.
Fox, you go in and drop it off. Because it's a patrol report for a member of the city guard, Scale and Sons are not going to charge you because it's a matter of clan defense. So Scale and Sons take the report in for you and deliver it. And are you just leaving? Like now we're basically waiting to see what Mekar will do.
Yeah.
We just got to get in range, I assume.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
I have a 1,000 foot distance to detect where he is. Can I be outside of the city limits for that? I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the geography here.
The city's a little bit longer across than 1,000 feet, but it is still it's a walled area where the main bulk of the city is, and then the bazaar and stuff are around it. So you can kind of you can sneakily get up to the wall, basically. You're just kind of blending in with the crowd. And you're a short guy, you don't stick out a butt, so yes, you can get close enough without arousing suspicion or being detected. for you to cast this spell.
Well, I'm gonna give it a little time, kind of coordinate it with Fox about when Scale and Sons has said they were going to be able to deliver it, and just make sure that we're in position. And I'm going to, I think I'm probably going to go in maybe with Fox,
You're good
and
to go.
that way I can stay
think that's
low,
a
and
good
you can
idea.
kind of like play back, like just keep an eye out in case I get in trouble. You're there for backup, and then Alan, you've got the ear ring, so we can communicate if. And I'm like, I can message you, and you can message me if we need to. But then I'm pretty much once the. This is us sitting around the table in the cipher truck talking about the plan. So like pretty much when I detect it, I can tell if it's moving and in what direction. So if I sense that he is bolting, or even if he doesn't move, like that's going to be our signal.
Okay.
I'll stay here and guard the cipher truck and be support from outside the town if needed. Unless you need me on the inside for something.
I believe that I will either I or Jeb will message you when you're if
You put your plan into motion. I roll a die in the tension pool to see if anything happens. Okay, Jeb, you get a little ping. You get a ping on your spell. You find it's the Pez thing that you're focusing on, right?
Yep.
You detect that the Pez is moving, but it's not leaving the city the way you thought it would, like to some hidden place. It is moving very rapidly towards the cipher truck where Zothkug is. It has left
it's moving towards the cipher truck. You were cutting in and out.
Yeah, it's left this. It has left the city and is moving very rapidly towards the cipher truck.
It's hidden in the freaking place. It's hidden in the. It's the rod is in the
Castle?
The castle
Ruins?
because there's the freaking traps there and everything. Remember when we noticed that? It's probably in like the basement or something, like in the dungeon.
Are you saying that to us through the earring?
Jake, sorry. Do you communicate to us?
Yeah, I mean, I'm letting you guys know.
Okay.
Like I've got some movement on it, and it's moving towards the cipher
Alan will
truck.
message back like what I just said, basically.
Okay, let's get out here. Get out to the cipher truck and follow behind from a distance.
Yes, I believe that's a good plan.
You leave town, rush back to the cipher truck, reunite with Zothkug. However, watching him
Every
through
time.
the spell, I'm doing my best. I'm dying right now, you guys. I kid you not, 2 days from now, the SIM card for my iPad shows up in the mail.
What do you not kid? That was the only thing
Kid
I
you
heard.
not?
I don't kid. I have no kids. I'm not a parent.
I think we just...
I'm dying.
I hope you're enjoying yourselves
This
and entertained.
this
as much
episode
as
is
I
going to be
am
called
by
the
this.
one where the DM melts into the floor.
The world implodes.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear
Hey, Josh,
me upset?
We heard the we heard your heavy
I
sigh.
heard you sigh. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Love that.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. We heard you love that the fact that we could only hear you
go
sigh.
back to the truck. You do it.
Okay.
You're at the truck. You're there with Zoth. You're looking at your spell. You're tracking the little beep. You're doing the GPS. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Yes, because you track it, and Mekar is right behind the truck.
So, when did you guys get here? You thought you could just leave me, huh? You thought you could just do what you needed to do. What are you, working for the guards? He takes a sip out of his flask. So he takes a sip from a flask and he kind of looks deep into it and he says, "The order for the broken scepter, what are you doing? Why are you here?"
I hoped it wasn't true.
Why are any of us really here?
That's
Now's not the time.
He takes another chug from his flask. I can't believe it. You really think I'm capable of that?
yes. I believe that. I didn't want to. I believe that you're an extremely capable person, and I could even, under the wrong circumstances, see my own self doing something that heinous. But the point is, I haven't, and I won't. and I'm extremely...
What makes you so much better than me? What makes you think that you, under the same circumstances I have been, they killed her. They killed Lilith. And you're going to sit here and act like you're high and mighty, like you wouldn't do what you could to get her back.
I did what I could. I joined the military. I went and fought for what I thought I had lost. When I learned that you were still alive, my whole world was shattered. I didn't know that I hadn't lost you. I did what I could, but what I could... I did what I could, but what I could wasn't what you did. I understand what you did. We were not marching to Rust Free with good intentions. But I followed orders, and I eventually learned that that's not what I should have done. And now is the chance for you to make that same change. I'm here now because I decided to use that motivation to help the world instead of fight for some ill-gotten war. And now you can too.
It's too late for that. It's too late for me. You don't know this. Your heart was always much bigger than your brain.
That may be true, but I don't think that's such a bad thing.
Well, nobody is getting this rod. The gods are not coming back. No one can take this. I have it. It's mine, and I will figure out how to get her back myself. He takes a long drag from his flask, almost seems to top it off. He looks sad, and he turns around and starts to walk away.
Just walking back to Clan Tructa. Oh,
yeah, he's just dipping out.
Mekar.
What?
I'm sure you know this, but there's very high level magic that can revive
And who am I supposed to trust with this? You guys?
You can. The goal is to eventually get there, live that long.
Unbelievable. You think the gods abandoning this world, taking all magic with it, you think they will let you get to this point? These false idols that you serve?
Let's interject here. Okay, Zoth, you need to watch what you're promising, okay? But also on the other hand, I'm pretty sure they didn't abandon us. All right, I'm pretty sure somebody has cut off their connection to us, which I know that's not really what we're arguing about right now. But
what's the difference? You sound like Owlin talking about gravity.
I'm just saying, I think it's an important detail that they didn't abandon us.
The difference, Mekar, is that there is hope. The gods are not lost. Magic is not lost. The weave is not gone. We can cast magic. We've seen evidence of it. If you help us free the avatars, find the pieces of the rod, combine them together only to dispel this great evil, not to wield for our own power, it can be the way it was.
It can never go back.
It may not be exactly the way it was, but perhaps it will be better.
I think he's just going to turn around and keep walking. I think he's just going to start walking away from you guys.
Alan, go bop him.
That's an interesting thought.
I'm going to go ahead and throw a rock and see if I can't just hit his back, little pebble. Somebody else, give me a DC to roll for you.
Your DC says AC.
Yeah,
I was like, if you're trying to hit me, your DC's about AC. Yeah.
Yeah, so what's the AC? So I'm going to throw a rock at his general direction. Mekar!
Everyone's just calling after him. Sorry.
I'm going to run up to him. I'm going to run up to him like, hey, listen, man. I know the world isn't all sunshine and rainbows, and you did what you had to do to make things right for you, or to try to.
You know what?
I can't judge you for that. I would have done the same thing.
He didn't. He's a coward. You're a coward, Mekar.
And who are you, little one?
I'm the man who lost his daughter. I'm the man who's responsible for his daughter's death while the weave was gone, and now her soul is forfeit. You think that your girl, you think that there's any hope for her? You think that there's a weave for her soul to pass on to the afterlife? You think that there's any way for you to bring her back without bringing magic back to this world, without restoring the weave? There is nothing that you can do unless you are on the side that we are on that is here to restore this. You're just tinkering around. You artificers are all the same. Just playing, trying to some noble cause, whatever. You're just here for your curiosity. You're a coward hiding behind some noble cause of trying to bring back your lost love. Here, there's actually a solution, and you get mad at the gods. You're a coward.
You're welcome to have your opinion about me. It doesn't change the fact that you cannot get what you want.
Oh, but I can. I can and I will. And if you are in my way, and if you are going to hinder this, then I'm going to send you to where the weave can't put you.
I think at this, he kind of stops for a second, and he sizes you up.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's just like, there's nothing that you can do to me that hasn't already been done.
Oh, yeah.
And he keeps walking.
How does annihilation sound? How does no afterlife sound? I'd say we could send you to where Lilith is, but she's probably nowhere.
Fox is backed away at this point.
Everything you're saying has gone through my head 100 times.
Then you're even more of a fool.
About this. I've studied this. I've thought this through. And if anyone can do this, I can do this. Obviously. Who else do I need? Everyone else dies or turns on you or gives you fake information and false books and things, trinkets, just a bunch of trash.
I don't think we reflected earlier on how our paths were very similar after the tower fell. And I still think that's true. And while you say that my heart is larger than my brain, and I do think that that is true, I don't think that it doesn't mean we haven't both thought on these things. And I can say, even after all that thought about betrayal and the hopelessness of this pursuit, I've found that even in all that, it's all much more bearable with friends. And I think that's been one of the most important things that I've found here. And you don't have to reject that. I don't think our goals are that different. We both want to bring her back. We both want to bring everything back and make it better. And I think with friends, there's hope. And you still have room to make that choice.
I'm going to walk up, and if you resist, you resist, but I'm just going to go give him a pat on the back. It's going to be like
the kind
a hard
of pat to make sure that there's no aboleth going on in there.
I was saying,
It's a hard pat, you know.
Well,
Just a friendly pat.
A good old army bro pat.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. Like, it doesn't sway him. He still keeps walking. He has important things to do, and his flask is empty.
Mekar,
Zoth, I think we've talked enough.
I know you can, Zoth, and when the time comes, we will.
I think we're going to have to operate as if though he's not on our side. I don't think he's against us necessarily, but now he's definitely going to be wary of us.
Has Mekar left earshot yet? You're just going back to town?
Yeah, I assumed he walked away.
I'm just walking. So normal speed.
Yeah, if you're not pursuing him, he's gone.
I mean, I'm not in a hurry, but I'm definitely walking away.
I'm still of the belief that if he was headed this way, it's likely that the rod is...
Well, he didn't go to there.
We're
came
halfway
straight to
between
us.
He was going to the cipher truck.
He I assume he
guess-
found the cipher truck and
thought-
stopped.
Can
Not
he
without
cast spells?
a cipher, I would assume. The difference.
Or the rod.
What spell would he have casted?
We don't know enough about that rod.
He could have casted locate object on you.
He was
Or something
seemed
you
to be
carry,
beelining
the
before I was
cipher
at the
truck.
cipher truck. We were all kind of strewn about around the
I
city.
think.
Well, he's familiar with the cipher truck, is he?
Well, I think he knew something about where we were because he beelined right there, and Zoth has hit this thing pretty good.
I still don't think it's... I think it's worth checking out the castle. I think that's definitely an idea, but we might want to be careful about what we do if he can track us.
This is fair.
I still think it might just be this truck. And Jeb, do you want to try to maybe keep an eye on him? Keep
I
surveillance?
want to put a lightning bolt through him, but I mean I can do that.
I don't know if that is... I believe Mekar still has a part to play.
It's not. I know. I'm just mad. I hate to see somebody lose. I hate to see somebody lose someone as important as that, and just not take every opportunity that they could. It just feels like he's giving up.
His mind is
And that
set
makes
in his,
me angry.
In his own...
I think I wouldn't say he's giving up. I'd say he's found his own solution.
In his
And
own...
he's-
Well, I'd say he hasn't found his own solution, and hey, here's a great big opportunity, and then just being all selfish and self-centered and saying, nah, I'm gonna do it on my own. Do you think I haven't already thought about that? Whatever. He can't read the minds of other people.
Sounds like he's had bad experiences with other people and putting trust in them. Either that or he's just under the control of the Aboleth, and the Aboleth, fueled this seed of despair.
I mean, I gave him a good pat on the back and he didn't seem to change, but I just thought, what if there was something about his drink?
Aboleth water.
I don't know. I'm just throwing
Is him
stuff out
drinking
there.
typical?
I knew him when we were youths. We were mischievous somewhat, but not enough to...
He seems to be set that he can't trust anyone. Maybe in the future we can get him to trust us, but right now I don't know of a way to do that, and I think we could just gotta push forward and
I have a long idea.
A long idea?
Long shot idea.
as opposed to a short idea.
I'm here for it.
We
on.
find a cleric, one of the top clerics of a god, and then we tell them our story and everything that's going on. We have them use our weave, and then they can resurrect whoever he needs, and then that can prove that we're trustworthy. But finding said persons would be its own adventure and quest.
I believe that is too much of a sidetrack from what our immediate goal is, which is the rod and the avatar.
Well,
You say that, but that's another piece of the rod.
that is true. I was about to say, if we could get him on our side without the hassle of having to go around him or through him, that would save us a lot of
But
trouble.
finding these people is, there's only like one of each maybe in the world if they're still alive.
Perhaps if they were
I mean-
able to be found, perhaps at Clan Royal.
I could put out a message to a cry, and maybe we can also put out a message through our information network with Four Guys Ventures and Buys.
This is, the highest level of magic that exists in the world. I don't even know if our weave will be able to handle it, but
Oh, the weave can handle it. It's just whether or not that this cleric would,
if they
be able to-
exist.
well, if they exist and, if they've out of practice for so many years.
I think it's worth a try.
If there's any possibility where we could find them at the holdings of Clan Royal, then we could essentially kill two birds with one stone. Get the piece of the rod from Clan Royal, the royal rod, and get the cleric so that we can get Mekar on our side.
I mean, even if we can't get it immediately, right? I mean, we have other leads that we
could
can
also
start working
task
on.
and Code
while
to
we
investigate.
That's what I'm saying. These are, Four Guys Ventures and Vibes Information Network. I can go through my information
Maybe Kime has
network.
one. It's a big city, right?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's one here. I mean,
Like I said, these are very rare.
a lot of these clans
very
are
rare
dwarven.
people. Not many.
they live old, right? Like a lot of the
Most
dwarven
people die
live
before
old.
they make it to that level of magic, that power of magic. It's just very rare.
Yeah,
We can certainly investigate.
I think it's worth a shot.
Shall we spend a little time at the castle just in case because we're here, or is that a lost cause?
No, I think that's definitely.
We did disable a lot of the traps
We're
too.
already here. You're right.
Maybe. Hey, what if we use Scale and Sons here in town? Send some messages back to to get the feelers out to try and find some folks, and then head to the castle. That way, our guys those wheels are churning while we're kind of delving a little bit.
We can also use the princess contact. Do you remember Zod?
I can message her.
Oh, yeah, we got.
Well, that's what I was gonna task Gia with, is just investigating in Kime. I assumed she would be part of that, but I could do it directly.
Well, I think everything that we can use, and to the best of our abilities. I think she's going to listen to you.
You can only
the best.
cast it 2 more times today.
Well, I guess you make it a very. Well, you can write it on your.
Well,
behalf,
I could message, like, sending her directly, and then could just go about his general
Right.
investigation.
That whatever
It's up to you. It's
feel
yours.
will work the best.
I
But-
certainly can give it my best shot. I think I'll message her first and see what she says. And I could tell her
In the
to get in
meantime, I guess we can
contact with
start
if
moving
she has
towards-
any information. I can't imagine this will be an easy task, or like maybe they have one on hand there. I'm not sure.
And in the meantime, while you're doing that, we can move
There-
towards
Yep.
the castle.
That works for me.
Save some time.
On that note,
And on that note, today's episode of D&D is coming to a close. Thank you for joining us and sticking
real
it through
heroes.
for all of you here live.
The real MVPs.
I really appreciate y'all staying. I know this is not our usual quality. I don't even want to think about what Josh has to go through to try to stitch this together. I know wasn't even a part of that, and I know my own audio got split in half. So have fun with
Internet
that,
quality
Josh.
went way down. Story quality went way up tonight.
stay tuned for next week's live retaping.
Yeah, it's a shot for shot.
Yeah, oh yeah, right.